Hello, DM Geezer Jim here, reading through the 2024 Dungeon Master's Guide, continuing on to Chapter 7, Treasures. We will get deeper into magic items, picking up with the next section being magic item rarity, and we will look at awarding magic items as part of this video. Read through what we got, and then we'll talk about what we think at the end of the video. Thanks for being here. Let's get into it. Chapter 7, Treasure, Magic Items, Magic Item Rarity. Every magic item has a rarity, which provides a rough measure of an item's power relative to other magic items. The rarities are shown in the magic item rarities and values table. Common magic items such as a potion of healing are the most plentiful. Artifacts such as the Wand of Orcus are priceless, unique, and difficult to acquire. Magic item values by rarity. Common magic items can often be bought in a town or city. Uncommon and rare magic items are usually found only in cities, and rarer magic items might only be sold only in wondrous locations such as the City of Brass or Sigil. If you allow characters to buy and sell magic items in your campaign, rarity can help you set prices for those items. Gold piece values are provided in the magic items rarities and values table, though a seller might ask for a service rather than coin as payment. If a magic item incorporates an item that has a purchase cost in the player's handbook, such as a weapon or a suit of armor, add that item's cost to the magic item's value. For example, +1 armor, plate armor, has a value of 5,500 gold pieces, which is the sum of a rare magic item's value and the cost of plate armor. 4,000 gold plus 1,500 gold equals 5,500. So the table breaks it down from common to artifact. A common value item, a common rarity magic item, common item is worth 100 gold pieces. An uncommon item would have a value of 400, while rare would fetch 4,000. Very rare items are worth 40,000, while legendary items are worth 200,000. Artifacts are considered priceless. Now the value is half the value for a consumable item other than a spell scroll. The value of a spell scroll is double what it costs to scribe the scroll as specified in the player's handbook. The next section, awarding magic items. Awarding magic items is the purview of the DM. You can't award a magic item because the story calls for it or the players would especially be pleased to have it. This section helps you to determine which magic items end up in the character's possession. Sidebar, are magic items necessary? The D&D game assumes that magic items appear sporadically and that they are a boon unless an item bears a curse. Characters and monsters are built to face each other without the help of magic items, which means that having a magic item makes a character more powerful or versatile than a generic character of the same level. As a DM, you never have to worry about awarding magic items just so the characters can keep up with the campaign's threats. Magic items are truly prizes, desirable but not necessary. Important comment here. The game is not balanced around a meta build requiring you to have this sword, this shield, these boots, and this armor, and this ring. That is your players just character building out. That's them min-maxing, okay? The campaign balance, the balance between characters is designed to go level 5 fighter with basic gear against a CR5 monster being a balanced encounter. When your level 5 fighter has +3 plate mail, +2 longsword, ring of fire resistance, and boots of speed, it's not a balanced encounter anymore. Magic items do not play into balance. That's why some of your lower CR monsters that are showing I'm a challenge rating 3 with 18 hit points, but I'm resistant to non-magical damage. That's not saying, oh shit, I need to give my players a magic weapon so they can kill this thing easier. That's the game system stating that this is balanced this way because your players don't have magic, which makes this monster a little tougher. This is an important sidebar. My apologies for the little comment there, but this is huge. Game balance is not predicated on magic items. Let's continue. Magic items awarded by level. The magic items awarded by level table shows the number of magic items a D&D party typically gains during a campaign, totaling 100 magic items by level 20. This table shows how many items of each rarity are meant to be handed out during each of the 4 tiers of play. Artifacts are omitted from the table because they are most often used as plot devices in high-level adventures, and characters rarely have them for long, either because the artifacts are meant to be destroyed or because the campaign is nearing its end. Player wish list. Encourage your players to keep a wish list of magic items they hope their characters will find in the course of the campaign. If you want to award a magic item but don't have a specific magic item in mind, you can pick an item off of the appropriate rarity from your player's wish list. Overstocking an adventure. When creating or modifying an adventure, assume that the characters won't find all the magic items you place in it. An adventure usually can include a number of items that's 25% higher than the number in the magic items award by level table round up. For example, an adventure designed to take the characters from level 1 to 4 might include 14 items rather than 11 in the expectation that 3 items won't be found. Okay. I don't agree with this section at all, but it's in the book, so we're going to read it. Magic items awarded by level. Character level, tiers of play. This is broken into 4 tiers. Even that's one of the things. Freaking 2024 goes between 3 and 4 tiers all day long. It is what it is. So levels 1 through 4. Tier 1. They should potentially have in an adventure. This is where we struggle. This is an adventure, usually including a number of items at 25% higher. Whether that's not an encounter, that's an adventure. It's not a campaign either. It's an adventure. So, Tier 1, levels 1 through 4, they could find 6 common magic items, 4 uncommon magic items, and 1 rare item to total 11 items in that tier of play. Hopefully, you're keeping in mind this is 4 characters, so that's going to mean 2 items. Everyone's going to get 2 and 1 person's going to get 3. Yay. 5 to 10, Tier 2. 10 common items, 17 uncommon items, 6 rare items, 1 very rare item for a total of 34. Remember, the idea here, as was said earlier, is a cumulative number. So 11 through 16, we're bored of common items. We're going to find 3 here. We're going to find 7 uncommon, 11 rare, 7 very rare, and now we get into 2 legendaries. And on top of those, we're up to 64, 75 items. We're going to go ahead and top them off with 25 more between 17 through 20. 5 of them will be rare, 11 of them will be very rare, and 9 of them will be legendary. Totaling 19 common, 28 uncommon, 23 rare, 19 very rare, and 11 legendary. I got a lot of comments I'll say for the end of the fucking video. Magic item tracker. This is just a simple visualization should you choose to adhere to this overtly generous system to make sure that you've given them all of the prescribed magic items over the course of a 20-level campaign. So, magic item tracker. You can use the magic item tracker sheet to track how many magic items the characters have acquired. Each time the character gets a magic item, put a check mark in one of the empty circles corresponding to the item's rarity and the current level range of the characters. If the characters gain a magic item of a rarity that has no unchecked circles at the left current range, check off an empty circle from a lower tier. If all lower level ranges also have no circles left, check off an empty circle from a higher level range. Random magic item rarity. When you decide that a treasure contains magic items, there are 2 ways to determine the rarity of those items. You can choose an appropriate rarity based on the items you've given out already using the magic item tracker sheet to keep track of it, or you can roll on the magic item rarities table. To use the table, find the level of the characters in the top row, levels 1 through 4 through 5 all the way across. Roll 100 and read down that column to find your roll. Then read across to the right column to find the rarity of the item. So levels 1 through 4, if I roll a 1 through 54 on a D100, they're going to get a common item. 55 to 91, it'll be uncommon, and 92 to 100 makes it rare. Levels 5 through 10 are going to have a 1 to 30 for common, 31 to 81 for uncommon, 82 to 98 for rare, and 99 to 100 for very rare. Levels 11-16 will begin ignoring the commons and the uncommons, only 11% chance to find a common, 12 to 34 for uncommon, 35 to 70 for rare, 71 to 93 for very rare, and 94 to 100 for legendary. Finally, levels 17 through 20, if you're rolling randomly, A 1 to 20 will give your players a rare. A 21 to 64 gives them a very rare, and a 65 to 100 gives them legendary. Magic items for starting characters. This is a sidebar. If you're starting a campaign for characters above level 1, the player's handbook offers suggestions for how many magic items such a character should start with and the rarity of those items. Consider these approaches for determining the items each character receives. DM's choice. Choose items for each character using your own judgment. Player's choice. Let the players choose whatever items they want within the specified rarity. Random determination. Use the tables at the end of this chapter to randomly determine starting items. Use the Arcana tables for sorcerers, warlocks, and wizards. Use the armaments table for barbarians, fighters, and paladins and rangers. And use the implements for bards, monks, and rogues. And we'll use the relics table for clerics and druids. Feel free to vary the tables you use to give each character a mix of useful items and to match character themes. For example, a fighter with the Eldritch Knight subclass, you might choose one item from the Arcana table and the rest of the character's items from the armaments table. We'll get into, okay, we're going to stop here. We're going to go ahead and unpack this a little bit. If you're here for the read along, thank you so much for your time. Feel free to push that stop button, come back for the next video. If you're here for comments, we're getting into it. I'm going to put my disclaimer up. I am a low magic DM. You might end up with 5 to 10 magic items on your character over the course of a 20 level campaign, which means I'm giving about half of what the book suggests to do on the awarding magic items thing. Okay, so I just want to put that out there. My personal perspective is vastly different from what we're getting in the book here. So this is all opinion, okay? I obviously vary widely from, I'm at half the range here. So if you don't want to listen to what I got to say, I can't, no harm, no foul. But first and foremost, this is a major problem for me. If something is common, that means there's more of that than something that's uncommon, right? And if something is rare, there should be less of the rare item than a common item. Yet we sit here and look at this horrifyingly ham-fisted, stupid table, and we see that over the course of 20 levels of adventure, our character is going to get 100 magic items. Seriously? But the second smallest batch of that is common. They'll get 11 legendary, they'll only get 19 common, but they'll end up with 28 uncommon. The definition of the word uncommon versus common breaks the logic here. This table is absolute shit, in my opinion, based on the numbers that we're looking at here. I cannot take you seriously when you say that there's more uncommon items than there are common items. Okay, that's my first little bit of a rant. I do apologize, but use some common sense when it comes time for this. This is a bad section, in my opinion. You are going to end up with way overpowered characters. Because we read at the start of this section, the D&D game assumes that magic items appear sporadically, not 100 fucking times over a campaign, and that they are a boon unless the item bears a curse. Characters and monsters are built to face each other without the help of magic items, which means that having a magic item makes a character more powerful, 100 fucking times more powerful, or versatile than a generic character of the same level. As a DM, you never have to worry about awarding magic items just so the characters can keep up with the campaign's threats. That's built into the combat rating. That's why a lot of people playing 2014 D&D say 5e's too easy, because they gave their characters 17 fucking magic items each and wonder why their monsters can't stand up to them, because it wasn't balanced that way. Magic items are prizes, desirable but not necessary. So if we take that and interpret that as what it is, and then we go down to this table and say, oh, they're not necessary, but make sure you give them 100 per campaign. So let me drop out of my personal feelings here for a second. The availability of magic items is a world building decision, okay? If you're running a high magic world, then have lots of magic. If you're running a low magic world, then restrict their use, restrict their availability. It is the purview of the DM. Your players don't get to ask for magic items. They don't get to expect them. I mean, it is a foregone conclusion we're playing D&D, we're going to end up with a magic sword, but the game function and balance does not require them, okay? So it feels kind of hypocritical for us to make a big emphasis on you don't need magic items, but if you're going to use them, give them 100 of them. Ugh, my brain is scrambled. And out of those 100 of them, the majority of them are rare and legendary. The minority of them are common and uncommon. That just cracks me up. 19 plus 28 is 47. 23 plus 19 is going to be 42 plus 11 is going to take us to 53. You're getting 53% of your magic items rare and above, and you're getting 40%, 7% uncommon and below. It baffles my mind that this even passed through, but it is what it is. And then it's going to tell us to overstock an adventure. What? Anywho, the magic item rarity. Let's go back up here for a second now that I'm done with a little bit of a rant. If you choose to have magic items buyable and purchasable and sellable in your campaign, understand the level of wealth that needs to be available in the world as well. If you're using these tables, figure out the hierarchy of things. And this is a little bit personal for me here. I don't sell magic items in any of my categories other than spell scrolls and potions. Those are the only things that I allow for sale in my worlds. Mainly because there's this idea of this entire upper class called nobles, called merchant lords, called the richest people in the world that can afford to buy the magic items from the stores before your players even get there. So if we're sitting in Waterdeep knowing they have 134 noble houses there that all have more money than your players ever will see, what are the odds of a plate mail suit of +1 plate mail still sitting on the shelf? Either there's got to be thousands of these in production, or what? Because the nobles would have bought that for their teenage son for a graduation present. I know I'm kind of veering a little bit here, but this is something that's very important to me. Magic items are the single quickest way to imbalance and ruin the challenge of a campaign. Whether you want to admit it or not, argue with me in the comments if you want about it. But we have to acknowledge and understand for 5th edition, combat encounters are balanced without magic coming into play. The more magic items you add to the campaign, the more you're imbalancing combat encounters. That's why I talk to a lot of GMs. They're like, dude, I have to homebrew everything level 12 or above. My characters just mow through it. Really? What do they got for magic items? Well, one dude's got a necklace of prayer beads. The wizard's got a wand of fireballs and a staff of striking. The cleric's got a staff of healing and a shield of the hidden lord. The fighter's running around with black razor, and the rogue's got wave. And you're wondering why you can't build a fight for your players to last. Pay attention to how magic items will imbalance the encounters before you start giving them out. Players want them. Players feel like they need them. They don't need them, but they are fun rewards. So please, 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 if you're going to use this section of the book, if you're going to use the references given between the values and the awarded by table, keep your campaign world and balance in mind. More so than anything else we've talked about, magic items will absolutely defunct a lot of campaigns. There's entire dungeons that can be completely bypassed if your players can fly. So if you give your entire party boots of flying, then you've basically negated lots of challenges and lots of things. Magic items are a lot more complex than the books lead us to believe. The abilities of these items can absolutely circumvent and short-circuit challenges that your players will face in adventures. So if you go heavy with magic items, understand that you are imbalancing your campaign, because the campaigns aren't built around magic items. Those are supposed to be extras. Keep that in mind. We want to give our players fun stuff. We want to have fun. We want to have the magic swords. But this 100 magic items over the course of 20 levels of play, that's absurd, man. That's just fucking absurd. The fact that we're going to give our players 19 very rare items, but only 19 common items? What? Come on, y'all. So use some common sense and understand your campaign world and your setting and your theme before you start deciding on what to give out in magic items. I'm going to go ahead and end here. I know this video was a little bit ranty. I do apologize. We read it, though. We read it. Thank you so much for hanging out. Likes, follows, subscribes are appreciated. Join me over on Twitch if you want to get into a debate about this. If you're one of those dudes that, nah, man, all the magic items in the world are cool. Awesome. Jump into Twitch. Let's have a chat. I'd love to hear back from you. Leave me some comments. Above all else, thank you for your time, and I hope to see you back for another video soon. Take care.